Right, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. We're going to be taking a look at a whole bunch of different altcoins. As you can see on the title, we're going to be covering XRP, we're going to be covering Bitcoin. We're also going to be covering the JASMY price set, how can we pay, and I also think that we're going to be covering ICP Internet Computer Protocol. We're also going to be covering Onyx Coin, XCN, ZEBEC, and a whole bunch of other different altcoins that you want us to take a look at. So we're going to have a Q&A at the end of this whole stream. So I hope that you're going to enjoy this whole thing. So before we start, you know the drill, right? Smash up the like button. We want to be spreading this message to as many people as possible, and just try to see where the rest of the market is. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, so earlier before the stream, I was actually asking people which one we should start with, and I think that JASMY is the one that got like most votes. I think it got 100%. I didn't see how many people actually voted, but we're gonna be going on and starting with the JASMY price set, which I think that there isn't much to talk about, to be honest with you, because we haven't actually moved as of yet in terms of the price section. And let me just show you what my thoughts are exactly on that. I mean, relating to the JASMY price set. So what you see is that on a daily time frame, we have been able to reclaim this area, which was previous support, turned into resistance. But I think JASMY has tried once, twice here, and it's looking like, yeah, we are still above that resistance. I mean, that previous resistance level. So hopefully, I mean, it holds and JASMY keeps pushing towards the upside. I mean, other than that, I think the most important thing that we are looking at is the relative strength index, especially on the relative strength index, the 50 daily moving average on that daily time scale, and it also shows that JASMY is still being supported. I mean, for context sake, this has been an area in which JASMY has bounced off time and again to go and have that parabolic one. So it's something that I feel is kind of missing right here, and we could actually be seeing the JASMY price that propel towards the upside. Of course, the whole thesis is going to make sense as we progress into the live stream, because we're also going to be taking a look at the macro and try to tie it up with what we are seeing with individual altcoins and stuff like that. So for JASMY, I think the most important thing to look forward to is the 50 daily moving average, which you can see at this point is slowly but surely beginning to creep towards the upside. So I think for now, yes, we may be struggling with the resistance / support, but I think the main thing is with the 50 daily moving average. So we'll see how the whole thing is going to be progressing by there. But for now, honestly speaking, I don't see anything to worry about. I mean, other than that, I think that there was news that was coming from, I would say, the CFO of JASMY, and that was Hara. Then he was posting actually earlier on that, they have a new roadmap, and it's a whole bunch of, I would say, buzzwords, to be honest with you. Not because I'm a hater of the project, I'm actually very much bullish on JASMY, but for me, myself, I have to be bullish on JASMY because of the price, not really because of, what people call fundamentals and stuff like that. I've never really understood what actually is happening right there. But one thing that I have to say about this new roadmap is that we did not see a follow-through of what happened with the previous roadmap. So did we really need a new roadmap? Well, I think we should have actually gotten updates as to what happened to the previous roadmap. Like, were there those token lockups? Were there those token banning? Because this is what the community was actually looking forward to with the private data locker and a whole bunch of different other things. So I'm not really sure if, the community actually received this message correctly, or maybe they received it well, I should be saying. But for me personally, it's a non-factor, and what I try to look at, is the price action to try and see if JASMY is looking safe here or it's not looking too good. So in terms of that roadmap, I don't have much to say, to be honest with you. I just want to look at this chart here and realize that, okay, we are above the 50 daily moving average, which usually has been an area of support, and this can still push the JASMY price at above the resistance. Obviously, we need other factors outside of JASMY itself, like, a healthy Bitcoin price, a healthy crypto market just means that JASMY is going to be pushing towards the upside. So that's much I can say about the JASMY price set, but I want to move on to the next altcoin here, which we're going to be talking about, and that is XRP. I'm actually still in a trade on XRP, which is still up, I think, as high as 80% or something like that. because I believe that, towards the end of this week or probably earlier next week, we're going to be seeing a huge move here with, XRP. The reason is it hasn't actually quite moved yet, but it has got all the ingredients that we have seen with things like this that really want to push towards the upside. So examples of structures like the one that we are seeing with XRP is SUI, maybe back there in 2024 in August, as well as Solana back then in 2022. So this actually has been a very common bottoming structure. And I think that XRP will just do well in that regard. And of course, I'm also looking at the 50 daily moving average here for XRP as well, and we are above that. For me, it's just, a patience game. It can drop, yes, $2.20, $2.10. It really doesn't matter. But I think that eventually, sooner rather than later, this pump that I'm expecting here on XRP, I'm not saying it's going to come in a month or anything like that. I actually think that it's something that can come within the next 2 weeks. So I'll be expecting this price to be hitting towards $3 in the very near future. And yeah, that's really bullish and bold from me. But this is exactly how I'm putting my money. Of course, I'm not just talking about those things, but I literally put my money where my mouth is. And if you've been following my JASMY comments, that's exactly what you see, right? So I come here, I don't give two scenarios that, okay, if this and this happens, then this may happen. Then, of course, at the end of the day, I'm going to be right. No, I don't do stuff like that. I choose one side that I pick, and of course, I'm going to be behaving exactly in that manner. And that's the same thing that I feel here about XRP. I feel like it's going to be the shining object in the coming weeks, if not by the end of the week, actually. So if you hear me speaking right now, I'm talking about, things getting heated towards next week or before that. Is because we have got a Fed meeting on Wednesday next week, and this is when rate cuts are going to be decided. For this specific meeting, I think that the market has priced in that the rates are going to be constant, but for the next one in June, I think they are anticipating that there's going to be a rate cut. So I don't know what the market is actually deciding at the moment, because if a rate cut actually appears, it probably means that something is broken in the economy, and that's not good news, right? At the same time, if the Fed doesn't cut anything, the market is going to get frustrated as to why they're not cutting, and again, the market will probably dump. So it's going to be very much tricky to try and figure out what the market is going to want. But I'm saying that, markets are trying to discover that at this point, and this is why you see a lot of things stagnant at the moment. Even the Bitcoin price is at a very critical location, which is 0.161 Fibonacci retracement level. I'm saying figures which don't actually exist right here, but let me go ahead and show you the Bitcoin price, and you can see that if we pull off Fibonacci retracement tools, from the very top, right around $109,000 until the bottom here towards 74, 73 thereabout, we can see that the Bitcoin price is right on a very important and critical Fibonacci retracement level, which is the 0.61 Fibonacci retracement level, and this is usually a rejection zone, right? But of course, if you happen to break above this level, this is where you shake off a lot of selling pressure, and you can actually be pushing towards the upside very much strongly. This actually gives excitement to everything else in the market. That's why you see things like XRP, they've just been stagnant. They haven't seen real breakouts. Things which were actually moving until the weekend, they have just stopped at the beginning of this week, because they are waiting for a signal, something that gives much confidence to traders right around this retracement level. So around 96K up until $99,000 here for BTC is going to just be, a fingernail biting moment. People are just going to try to figure out what's going to be happening. But I think after these things are cleared, yes, we're going to be having a very much positive run in all altcoins, XRP included, JASMY, XYEN, ACH, ZEBEC, and whatever you want to be talking about. I think they're going to just have a fantastic idea. So we've covered XRP, Bitcoin, as well as JASMY. We're going to be taking a look at the next one, which is TELCOIN, actually, because I think that I'm going to be lining up a massive trade if my idea actually pans out very much, because I think the chart is easy to understand as well. So at the moment, it's just a patience game. So what I'm looking at here with TELCOIN is somewhat of an inverse head and shoulders pattern, one that is actually panned out and another one that is still in the making. I'll share with you that very much soon, but let me just take a breather because I'm just running and going, right? Let me just get into the chat and also see what you guys are talking about. But let's take a break here and we'll continue with TELCOIN in a minute. All right, I think we can continue with Telcoin here. I think that, as I mentioned earlier on, I'm looking at an inverse head and shoulders pattern, one that is actually panned out already, and one that is still in the making. I'll share with you that one real fast. So yeah, the one that is already panned out is this one, which you can see obviously the head here, the shoulder here, another shoulder. So the target has already been met. We actually traded this one in our private Discord group, and we actually got a 4x on that. That was last Monday. So that was a fantastic trade altogether. And now we are looking for a new one. So I'm looking for the price to dip into the zone here for Telcoin, right around, I would say, the lowest point, I would say basically 4.8, 4.9 cents thereabout, right? So in this range, I'm going to be trying to open a long position. If this, support doesn't hold very much, I'm going to the next support here, which is around 0.042, right? And I'll see if I can also open a very high leverage long position here. Also taking into account what's going to be happening with the Bitcoin price around that, 96 to 99K level, because once that level is broken, I'm telling you, that's going to be giving a lot of altcoins, the validation and the momentum to keep pushing towards the upside. So that's when I'm going to be opening a long position here on Telcoin. Obviously, I'm going to be announcing the whole strategy with my Patreon members via our Discord group, and we'll see where we can set stop losses, how much we're going to be trading, and take profits, which leverage actually works, and all those things. We'll talk about them later on, and I'll also probably make a video dedicated to Telcoin. If you guys like that, you can give me the feedback, and we can see what we can do right there. Now, another altcoin that I want to take a look at. Oh, by the way, I'm saying that yeah, I'm bullish here on this whole thing. I mean, you can take a look at this whole thing, and yeah, in the worst case scenario, what you want to see is a Fibonacci retracement level being hit, which is right around, I would say, as high as 0.0096 thereabout. But of course, if we get to continue and hit expansion levels, I mean, even 1.2 cents is something that's, I mean, 2 cents, I'm actually saying 2 cents is something that is very much possible here. But for the long term, in terms of how high we can go in the bull run, it's not, proper for me to speak about that right now, because we are way too low. We want to be seeing if there is actually much more momentum for Bitcoin to break that block around $99,000, then I think we're going to be good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next one on the list, and that's HBAR. Now with HBAR, I think that the same analysis that we gave for XRP is pretty much the same thing here. We're just waiting and waiting to see that thing play out slowly but surely. And I mean, usually speaking, these kind of things are very much clear bottoming structures where a lot of people have been expecting that this top here is going to be the support. Then it just goes one step lower, then slowly but surely start pushing towards the upside once again. So I'm bullish on HEDERA HBAR, and I'm also very much bullish on XRP, bullish on Telcoin, bullish on JASMY, and I'll show you the next one right there. Let's also just take a quick break here, and we can come back with another altcoin, and maybe we can take a look at Alchemy Pay as we continue our live stream. All right, I think we can continue. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at our XRP ACH, which is one that I'm super bullish on. But of course, there is a condition for me to be bullish on it. So let me just go ahead and see what we have right there with our XRP Pay. We can see that we are trading right around 2.7 cents at the moment. And yeah, it's looking like we also are stuck under somewhat of a resistance. But just as I've been saying with all the other altcoins, it's just a matter of the market trying to decide. So things are stagnant right now, waiting to see what Big Brother Bitcoin does right around that 0.61 Fibonacci retracement level. But once these resistances are broken, I'm expecting this whole thing to hit as high as 5 cents, 5.3 cents, 5.5 cents very much quickly. And this is actually where things get very much exciting for our XRP Pay. I'm going to be opening a very long position right there if we happen to break above this, whole resistance zone, because this is a multi-year resistance. And if it gets broken, there is no sell pressure here on the side. So this is pretty much price discovery. And we have taken some trades like this ones. I remember the other one that I took was, I think it was Deep Book on Sui. And that actually turned out to be one of the perfect, trades that you can ever came across, because if the price goes like 100% from breaking the top resistance right there, if you're on a 15x average, 10x average, I think you can actually make a lot of money. Of course, I'm not advising anybody to do this because it actually takes a lot of expertise and a lot of calmness for you to be able to pull it off, right? So I think one other thing that is remaining is XYen on XCoin, right, which we'll cover very soon, because I know that a lot of people want to take a look at XYen USDT, and that is a chart that is very much bullish still, with I think at this point it's retracing and kind of accumulating. But what usually happens with these charts is that they still push towards the upside. So I'm a little bit bullish, expecting somewhere around 7.5 cents. I'll show you what exactly I'm talking about right now with Alchemy Pay. So this is the maxi chart, and if we go to a daily time frame, we can see what I drew in the last live stream, that yes, the crash has happened, and what you expect is a very quick recovery here, which is a retracement level. Now we're looking for one more accumulation so that we can send the price higher than the previous high here, and that is right around 7.5 cents, as I said. And this is where I'm looking at my preliminary price target right now. I'm not looking for higher price targets which are crazy, like 20 cents, 30 cents. Some people may look for those ones, but maybe, just maybe, I don't have the patience to hold until then. But I'm looking at something which is, number one, realistic, and also something that can happen relatively quickly so that I can move on to other things. It's not like you're only going to be making money from one altcoin or something like that. I think that you can be shifting money here and then and stuff like that. I know that a lot of people don't want to hear things like this because they've had bad experiences or stuff like that, but trust me, right, we've also gone through all that. We've seen what works and we have seen what doesn't really work, and right now it's just a matter of doing the exact right thing, not looking at what people say or anything like that. So I'm bullish on Onyx coin, but I'm not overly bullish, like expecting 20 cents, 30 cents, maybe $1 or something like that. Not yet in that level for me. So this is where we are. We're just accumulating here. If you just go to the shorter time frames, maybe the 4-hourly time frame, and try to figure out what the price is doing here, I don't think you can come up with any sort of conclusion rather than the price is going sideways. Now there's a problem with that, because our emotions as people actually tell us to pick a side, either bullish or bearish. Now what happens when the price is just doing this? It's going sideways. Nobody wants to pick that side, right? So I think that's exactly what is happening here with Onyx coin, and I'm picking that side which says, you know what, I don't really expect any real breakouts anytime soon here, maybe in the coming 2 weeks, or maybe when we find a resolution here on BTC, just like I mentioned earlier on, yeah, then we can see Onyx coin also just do a fantastic job. For now, I think the whole thing is ranging, and that's okay with me actually. Now another one that we also want to take a look at, which actually has been making a lot of noise of late, is ZEBEC, and for the right reasons, or also for the wrong reasons, right? Because there was some kind of drama with White Rock later last week, and there was also some kind of delisting news that was happening right there. But overall, I think that the project is a really good one. And yeah, I was talking to my Patreon members, I think the day before yesterday, when we had seen that, okay, look, the RSI is breaking out here, and I was saying that, look, historically speaking, this is also when we have seen ZEBEC, pushing towards the upside. So ever since that time, I think the price went up by 50%, and I want to say congratulations to everybody who participated in that, because 56% in this economy is not something that you can find so much easily, right? Of course, I mean, we take some trades which we hit 400%, 200%, 300%, and so forth, but again, we have to appreciate the little that we have sometimes, and I think it's great. Now let's go ahead and take a look at oh, I actually didn't give the analysis here on ZEBEC. So I think what's happening here with ZEBEC is it's accumulating in a range. Yesterday I made a video actually, and I was saying that, look, we are approaching a resistance, which you can see the price has been rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and of course, yeah, the 5th time. Now if we would get rejected here, that would be the 6th time. So yeah, let's see what happens right here. If we get a rejection, yeah, I think that we're just going to be moving along with the rest of the market to try and see how strong Bitcoin is, so that we can see if we have got strength to go ahead and reach something like as high as 0.002 here at the top range. Then from there, it's pretty much price discovery, because there is not much resistance here. So I think it's if you're somebody who likes holding things on spot, ZEBEC is something that is actually coming from the ultimate lows and is heading towards the upside. There are charts that are just coming from the top and headed towards the downside. You don't want to be in those ones, right? So this is one that has got a very important baseline here, and maybe as long as you get closer to this line, you're looking to add more. Obviously, if you start making lower lows than this one here, that's not too much of good news in my humble opinion, because we've also seen charts which do bad like that. I'll give you a quick example. Like Blender, I saw it crashing like 60% after breaking its main support level. So for now, the chart is in the middle of a range, and this is actually termed dumb money zone, meaning that it's a no man's land basically. There is a 50% chance that the price really crashes and hits the top of the range, or there is, you know, the other 50% which says that the price will just be crashing towards the downside once again, I mean towards the bottom. So it's better to have somewhat of an action either here at the bottom or here at the top, right? Then maybe you're trading a breakout, or maybe you're shorting the price to come back right down into the range. That decision is actually yours, and your own analysis on the chart. I'm going to continue to give a lot of updates on ZEBEC because I think that it's something that has got a future and massive potential right there. I think we are pretty much done with all that we wanted to cover in terms of like the ones that I put on the on that title. So we can simply get into the Q&A, and I want you guys to tell me, I mean, the altcoins that you want us to take a look at. Once we do something like that, then we'll be able to close up, and that will be actually nice. So I'm waiting and looking at the chart to see what we have right there. Let's quickly take a look at the first one here. I think a lot of people are requesting that we take a look at. Okay, let's take look at the first one, Floki. We'll take a look at Floki and see what we have right there. It's a meme coin. I've seen a lot of meme coins actually, just trying to push towards the upside, but I really didn't pay much attention to that. So let's take a look at it real fast. Maybe from Binance. Usually the Maxi chart is the one that's better. Okay. I think there is some kind of life right there. Let's see what we got. Let's go ahead and delete the previous items. Yeah, so just like any other outcome that we have been talking about, what happened with Floki is it bottomed out, and a very obvious bottoming structure like the one that I was talking about on XRP and HEDERA HBAR, but it has also stopped right here because I think everything is just waiting for a signal for Bitcoin to see what really happens. Now, usually with structures like these ones, as you can see, you're approaching some kind of a resistance. Obviously, you can get either a rejection or maybe you can start pushing towards the upside. So once again, I think we have to refer to what BTC does until next Wednesday, which we know we have got a catalyst of the Fed meeting. They're going to be announcing their decision on interest rates, and according to that, I think we're going to be seeing markets in motion once again in either direction, to be honest with you. But towards that day, I think we're going to be seeing some things that are going to be giving hints to say, okay, I think we're going to be pushing up. I have to say though, at the moment, Bitcoin hasn't actually shown. I think my music is actually too loud. I'm sorry about that. I think that Bitcoin hasn't shown a lot of weaknesses because it hasn't gotten that just big rejection towards the downside. It's kind of consolidating and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see. All right, I'm sorry, Kito. I forgot to turn down the music, and I think now you can hear me much better. Can you actually confirm if you can hear me much better? I actually forgot to turn it down, so let's see. Somebody is talking about XRP or JASMY. I'm stuck in a situation I need to sell either one of them. Which one should I sell? XRP or JASMY? Well, I mean, probably you can hold both of them. Look at Baby Goat Soul. We'll take a look at that. Mana. So Decentraland is actually one that has done quite okay. I think that it has hit like the spring of its work of accumulation pattern, and because of that, I think that it can still push. Now, we still also have the same problem here with Decentraland, just like any other altcoin that we are talking about, that we are being stuck under retracement levels, because I think everything is still waiting for BTC to show its hand. Once BTC shows its hand, I think we have a better picture as to what is happening right then. So this is a work of accumulation pattern. I think it's very much obvious to see, and this is a spring moment where you just go ahead and hit lows and you clear all the stop losses that would have been set right there. Now the price is slowly but surely getting back into the range, and I will not be surprised if we see maybe, you know, a back test of this whole thing right around, you know, to 27 cents thereabout. Then the price starts slowly but surely pushing again towards the upside. So this will be a scenario that I'm anticipating for Decentraland. And with that, I'm hoping that also gaming comes back into life, because it has just been dead throughout this whole cycle. It has not, it is actually not been able to survive. So let's see what happens by there. But at face value, this for me looks like it's a spring of a work of accumulation pattern, and with a healthy market, and with the decision that we can see from Bitcoin, I think up until next week, Wednesday. So we have about a week or so. We'll be able to say much more about Decentraland here. So that's my opinion at the moment. I've actually taken time to look at it before. Let's take a look at previous all-time high. Can it look at previous all-time highs? Man, I don't know. I really don't know. It's previous all-time highs. If we didn't have like a lot of unlocks and stuff like that, I think this work of accumulation pattern, yes, has got the capability to send it into new all-time highs. However, if it has been hit by a lot of inflation, like things like, I would say, you know, Filecoin, with a lot of token unlocks, things like JASMY, things like ICP Internet Computer Protocol, I don't think that's going to be something that's possible. But let's just go ahead and see how high it would have to go. So from bottom until, I mean, from top until bottom here, you're looking at $6 from where it's sitting right now. That's something like a 17x. Well, I mean, we have seen cryptocurrencies do something like this. Do we still have the energy to go ahead and claim that, though? It's a big question. But you know what, just from my own experience, how I've actually traded these things is that I've usually targeted like higher retracement levels. I usually target the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, the 0.61 Fibonacci retracement level, and I take profits around these levels. Now, if the chart goes on to clear those ones with significant strength, I get back into the market and I try to target the next one, which is the golden ratio. So if you're asking for this one specifically, because I did this with Arve, and people who have known me from back then will tell you that was the strategy. Now for Arve, I'm out in terms of like, I'm holding cash because it hit the 0.5, which for Mana right now would be $3.27. I don't think that's small gains, because from where it's sitting right now, you're looking at a total of right around, you know, a 10x. So if you can get that and take your money out when the price gets right around these levels and wait for it to clear maybe something like $4.50, and then ride it all the way to something like, you know, $10, I think that is exactly what I would do personally if I would be holding Mana. But for now, I'm not holding Mana. I'm holding other gaming tokens, and they have actually been a total disaster. They have been very much lackluster. So yeah, all right. Let's see if we've got anything else here in the chat. I think that Baby God. What is the ticker symbol for Baby God? I don't know anything about Baby God. What is the ticker symbol for Baby God? Especially if they are meme coins. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not really a huge fan. I've never been involved much into them. The ones that I got involved in, I mean, they were work. I mean, what else can we say? It was crazy. All right, let me see if we've got anything else. So I remember having Mana at 8 cents and saw it to $5. I believe it could go again. I did not take, wow, much profits. I should have. 8 cents to $5, man. I mean, why didn't you take profits? You should have actually just taken profits, man. Sometimes, I mean, maybe it depends on the money that you put in there, but even if you put like $100, by the time you get to $5 from 8 cents, that's crazy. That's really crazy. So I don't know the reasons behind you not selling, but I think that was not much of a good idea, in my humble opinion. Let's see if we've got more other requests while there before we can close the live stream. Let's see here. vet next, please, if no one else is asking. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at VeChain. I think I talked about it in the last live stream, and it really doesn't have like a very bad chart, I would actually say, but it's one of those coins which doesn't have any narrative right now. If VeChain had been recently launched, especially with that hype of reward assets and stuff like that, yeah, it would have actually done really well this bull cycle, but it did not have a specific narrative to it. And I think the community is kind of wearied because of lack of a narrative behind the token. So it's one of those things that I think are just going to be dependent on how strong the market gets. And up until this point, we have not seen individual strengths from a lot of different altcoins. We've just been seeing things you know, following what BTC does, and then when BTC dumps, everything dumps heavily and stuff like that. But as I was saying, that I don't think that it necessarily have a totally bad chart, and I think yes, it also has got that bottoming structure that I think, you know, things like VeChain, things like HEDERA, HBAR, things like XRP have, and this has actually led the market to go ahead and do something like this here towards, you know, the upside. So I don't have specific values in terms of like price targets, but this is not a terrible chart by all means. It's something that is just accumulating, you know, just moving along with the rest of the market. Let's see what happens right there. But it could also be one that hits its 0.5 Fibonacci retracement levels as well. So here, yeah, I think you'll be looking at maybe somewhere around 82 cents thereabout. I think it's fair enough right now. One moment, what is that? No, that's 18.2, not 82. 18.2 cents, not 82 cents. Yeah, so that's where we are right now. It's very difficult when you're down below here. I think you have to clear those retracement levels first if you want to get bullish. But let's see what else we've got. I was greedy. Yeah, we shouldn't be greedy actually. So yeah, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining in the live stream. I think that we can catch up in videos starting tomorrow. We can talk about JASMY separately. We can talk about XRP separately. We can talk about Bitcoin. Maybe not Bitcoin. I'm not going to be making a dedicated Bitcoin video. Maybe we can take a look at XYen. We can take a look at TELCOIN as well as ZEBEC. So thank you so much for coming. I'll see you on the next one. Take really, really good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.